So today I wanted to show you my Nintendo GameCube collection. So this collection video is going to be different from the PS3 collection video and the videos to come for collections. And the reason for that is most of these games are games I played through my childhood. So I'll have a lot of fond memories of playing them and they mean a lot to me. So my collection for GameCube is very small. And I think only like 3 or 4 games out of the whole collection are games I've never played before. So yeah, so grab some popcorn or a snack and let's get to the games. Starting off with the loose games, Spyro Enter the Dragonfly. So this is one of 2 games that survived my game collection as a child, and I never finished this game, and I bought it initially thinking it was going to be like the original game on PlayStation 1, and it wasn't. So it left me disappointed, so I never finished it. So that was Spyro Enter the Dragonfly. Next up we got The Fairly Odd Parents Breaking the Rules. This is a 3D platformer where I forgot what the story was, but I know it has something to do with Vicky. But you basically play through entire levels that are pretty much inspired from the TV show, and if you've seen the TV show, it's very it really pulls at your strings of nostalgia for the show. I'm not sure how well this game holds up now though. I haven't played it since I was a kid, but yeah. That was Fairly Odd Parents Breaking the Rules. And the last loose game I have right here is Tak and the Power of Juju. So this game was another 3D platformer that was kind of like a collectathon, but not as much. It was more focused on its story and its platforming. And you play as Tak, and you're trying to pretty much defeat the evil warlock Tlaylock, and he turned the whole village into sheep, and that's basically what you're trying to do after you find out the guy that was the best warrior of the tribe also got turned into a sheep. So it's up to you to actually revert the spell and defeat the warlock. And this is a really fun game. I love the humor, and yeah, it was a very good game. So that was Tak and the Power of Juju. Tak 2, The Staff of Dreams, the sequel. And for this one, you play as Tak a couple years later, and after he was in a coma for like 2 weeks, he had a dream about this princess that is being held captive at this castle in the dream world, and this dream Juju is trying to convince you to go save her and take the Staff of Dreams from the monster that's held in her captive. And the gameplay for this one consists of the same 3D platforming, but there's more action in this game, and the dream world sequences really make the game more refresh and more interesting. And this game overall is better than the first game in my opinion, and I'm hoping one day that THQ Nordic is able to do a remaster or a remake of all these games. But yeah, that was Tak 2, The Staff of Dreams. Super Smash Bros. Melee. Pretty much the standard of having a game for the GameCube. Like everybody had this game as a kid. So this is, one of the best fighting games of all time. And for the longest time was the best Smash Brothers game as well. And I can have an argument of it still being the best one. It's the one that people have the most nostalgia for. It still plays great today, and I do have a lot of nostalgia for the game, but I will say that Smash Bros. Ultimate is the most complete Smash Brothers game. But yeah, this game is a must-have for the system, but if you don't have a GameCube, obviously Smash Bros. Ultimate is the way to go. So yeah, that was Super Smash Bros. Melee. Ty the Tasmanian Tiger, another 3D platformer from the early 2000s. You play as a Tasmanian tiger, and in this game you're trying to collect these thunder eggs to prevent Boss Cass, the cassowary, that's trying to get his hands on it, and he's responsible for Ty's parents disappearing. So yeah, the gameplay consists of platforming and then using the boomerangs to defeat enemies, as well as solving environmental puzzles, which the environmental puzzles are very basic, but overall this is a really good game. This game did get a modern port on console, so if you want to get this game physically or digitally, it's on there, and I highly recommend you check it out. I think this is a very underrated 3D platformer from its time. Ty the Tasmanian Tiger 2 Bush Rescue. The sequel to this game is a little more different than the first game. So I forgot to mention in the first game that was more collectathon focused. This game is less focused on that and more focused on the combat and the story. And you also get a mech, like it's shown right here. You also get to fly a helicopter as well as kart racing. And what makes this less of a collectathon, I mean there is stuff to collect in the game itself, but like there's more focus on mission structure and side missions. So in the first game there wasn't any side missions. In this game there is. And in the first game there's these things called opals. They're like crystals that you collect in every level, and you try to collect all of them in order to get a thunder egg. In this one, the opals are more of a currency, and I think this was a very interesting direction for the franchise, and I do really like this game. And I believe this was actually the first game I played of the franchise. And you know, if you like the first game, you're gonna like this one, but it is gonna be a little different. And overall, yeah, it was a great game. And this also got a modern port on console. It's available on all three platforms, and it is going to be available physically in a couple of weeks with the Ty the Tasmanian Tiger bundle. So if you're looking for a physical copy for the modern consoles, you're gonna have to wait for that. So that was Ty the Tasmanian Tiger 2 Bush Rescue. Ty the Tasmanian Tiger 3 Night of the Quincan. So this was originally the final game of the franchise, but it no longer is, but takes place like right after the second one story wise, where all these like aliens have invaded the world and you're trying to stop them. And this game took a little more of a refining aspect instead of really evolutionizing the gameplay. So you also have vehicles like the second game, you also have your boomerangs, and you also have like a more like open environment. I mean, it's still kind of linear, but you know, it's more open-ended. And you also have what's it called, just a jet combat in the air where you're defeating alien ships and stuff. And overall it was a good game. Really enjoyed it, and this was probably my favorite one of the franchise. So unfortunately this game has not received a modern port on console. It is available on Steam, but for those of us that only play on console are gonna have to wait a little longer. Man, what's weird is that they ported Ty the Tasmanian Tiger 4 on console first before they did 3. I don't know why they did it that way, but it is what it is. And if you are looking forward to, or if you want to play this game, I should say, then you're gonna have to wait for the modern port or just play it on PC. So that was Ty the Tasmanian Tiger 3 Night of the Quincan. The Incredible Hulk Ultimate Destruction. So this is a open world Hulk game, where this is like the ultimate Hulk game, even though I know it's called Ultimate Destruction, but this is the ultimate Hulk game. where you actually feel like you're the Hulk and you can do so much destruction. And this game has a lot of different like mini game missions where you're trying to like kick a football like object over like a goalpost, and you can do a bunch of different challenges like that. And you also can cause massive mayhem. You can run on buildings, you can defeat giant mechs, and you can even throw some of the missiles back to those mechs. And overall, it's an amazing Hulk game that I wish was brought back to modern consoles, but I doubt that'll ever happen. And the people that made this game did end up making prototypes, so those games have a very similar style of gameplay to this game. So if you want to experience this game without actually playing this one, prototype is the closest thing you're going to get. But overall, yeah, really enjoyed the Incredible Hulk Ultimate Destruction. Hulk, this was based off of the movie of the same name with Eric Bana. And I remember my friend from elementary school let me borrow this game. But at that point, I've already played the Incredible Hulk Ultimate Destruction, so going back to this was bizarre, so I didn't really like it. I played it for maybe an hour before I dropped it and I gave it back to him. And the reason I have this now is because the Incredible Hulk Ultimate Destruction was a bundle deal on eBay, so it came with this game and that game. And you know, I was like, for the price, might as well. I might give this game a shot one day, but I'm not gonna promise that, of course. So that was Hulk. FIFA Street. So this is a more street FIFA game, of course. And you know, this was similar to the other EA Sports big games like NFL Street, NBA Street. You know, that aesthetic and that style of gameplay is really fun, and I really miss EA Sports big titles because they don't really have that much creativity anymore, even though they make a ton of money. But this was my favorite one out of all the other sports games that are in this genre, and I loved making the custom characters, listening to the music. The music track in this game is absolute fire, and I listen to it from time to time nowadays. And yeah, had a lot of fun playing this game as a kid with my cousins, and I really wanted to own a copy again and play through it again. And if you like street sports games, this is definitely a good one. So that was FIFA Street. The Simpsons Hit and Run. So this is basically the Simpsons version of Grand Theft Auto. And the story is like these wasps, these robotic wasps have invaded Springfield, and you're trying to figure out what's going on. And you do play as the whole Simpsons family except for Maggie. And you can also play as other characters as well. And overall, this is a really good game. And I remember the first time I played this game, the same friend that let me borrow Hulk, let me borrow this game. Really enjoyed it. And I'm not the biggest Simpsons fan where I like watch everything, but I do like it. And this was a really good game. And this is a game that people wish got a modern port or a remake or a remaster of any capacity. But yeah, I wanted to own a copy of it on GameCube, and maybe one day this game will get a remake, but who knows. That was The Simpsons Hit and Run. Crazy Taxi. So this is an arcade taxi game where you're just trying to get every passenger to their destination as fast as possible, but you get more money if you go off of ramps and other obstacles. And this is a game that you can pick up and play for a couple minutes, like before work. And the reason I bought this version of the game instead of the modern port, because there is a modern port on Xbox Live that is backwards compatible on Series X, is because the licensing tracks as well as the licensed locations are present in this version. So even though the gameplay is really fun and all, but the music and the locations is what really made this game unique to me. So you get places like Levi's, Pizza Hut, KFC, Fila, those types of retailers and stuff. And the music, man, the music is very iconic for this game. And they are making another Crazy Taxi game, but the new one is going to be more focused as an online only game, which is unfortunate. But at least I have this and I can play it whenever I want. So that was Crazy Taxi. Spider-Man 2, based off of the Sam Raimi movie. So this was considered to be the best Spider-Man game for a long time. And this is basically the template for how to make an open world Spider-Man game. So this was developed by Treyarch, and they really like knocked it out of the park with this game, because you really feel like Spider-Man when you play it. So the game follows the movie loosely, because they introduce other characters from the comics like Rhino, Mysterio, and they really expanded the story. And overall, I really enjoyed this game. This game gave us one of the best mini games or side missions of all time, in my opinion, with the pizza delivery service. And the music is very ridiculous, but overall, yeah, really good game. I don't know if this is worth going back and playing now that the Insomniac games are out, but it is a game I have fond memories of playing, and I will always cherish those memories. So that was Spider-Man 2. Ultimate Spider-Man. So this game came out a year after Spider-Man 2, developed by Treyarch, of course. And this is based off of the comic book of the same name. And in this game in particular, you get to play as Venom, and you play as Venom throughout the course of the story, not just a single time. And overall, this is such a joy to play, and so cool with the story and the characters they are able to put into this game. Given it's more based off of the comic books, they had more freedom and creativity. And I was hoping that one day this would get a modern port, but I doubt that'll ever happen. And this is another game I have fond memories of. And yeah, another great open world Spider-Man game that is more comic book cel shaded style of graphics. So that was Ultimate Spider-Man. True Crime Streets of LA. So this is basically another Grand Theft Auto like game where you play as a cop, and I don't remember the story that well, but I know you're just trying to figure out what's going on with the triads and stuff. And what's unique about this game compared to Grand Theft Auto, for instance, it's not as free as Grand Theft Auto, where you go to whatever part of the map you want or anything. This game is like broken up into loading times, but there is open world areas. But the biggest difference between this game and Grand Theft Auto, besides that, is because you're playing as a cop, you're able to do an inspection on random citizens, and if they're carrying any narcotics or anything, you can arrest them, and that's pretty cool. And what's also really cool about this game is there is melee combat that is very kung fu based, and I really love this game. And for Grand Theft Auto not being on GameCube, this was a great substitute along with The Simpsons Hit and Run, and that's why I have a GameCube copy again. So that is True Crime Streets of LA. Luigi's Mansion, the original game that started it all. This is basically Nintendo's version of Ghostbusters. So after Luigi wins a mansion with a contest he never entered, he goes to look at it and explore it, and finds a lot of ghosts inside, and he finds a professor named Egad, and Egad asks asks Luigi for help to eradicate all the ghosts, and you find out that Mario has been taken hostage into a painting by King Boo, and now you're trying to save your brother on top of taking all the ghosts out. And this game still holds up today. I played it last year for Halloween, and I really wish this game was on Nintendo Switch, because they put out Luigi's Mansion 2 HD on Nintendo Switch, and it's bizarre they didn't bother putting Luigi's Mansion on there. But yeah, maybe one day we'll get a remake or a remaster on the next console. So that was Luigi's Mansion. Ice Age 2 The Meltdown, based off of the movie. So I've always wanted this game as a kid, but I never got it. And not that long ago I found it at a Second and Charles for like $4. And I was like, why not? So I don't know what type of game this is. It might just be one of those like mini games type of games, but I don't know. So yeah, I don't really have that much to say on Ice Age 2 The Meltdown. Besides, I bought it for a very, very cheap price. So that was Ice Age 2 The Meltdown. Super Monkey Ball. So this is like a ball game where you're trying to go through different courses while balancing the ball that the monkey is in. And the whole gimmick of the game is that the camera is all like wobbly and you lose your balance, so it's easy to fall off the courses. But on top of the main course portion of the game, you also have mini games, and that's where the game really shines, in my opinion. So I never really cared for the main course stuff. I cared about the mini games. So you get to do racing, you get to do monkey billiards, bowling, golf, and target. So I played the billiards, the bowling, the golf, the race, and the target mini games, and really enjoyed those. I have a lot of nostalgia for those. And this game did get a modern port on Switch, PlayStation 5, and Xbox, but through the Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania. And yeah, if you are interested in playing the mini games in this game, which I highly recommend, check out Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania. So that was Super Monkey Ball. The Incredibles, based off of the movie of the same name. This is a 3D platform action game where you play as the Incredibles family, and this follows the movie. And I'd say it's pretty accurate, and this is another childhood favorite of mine. I mean, all of these are for the most part, but this game I played a lot. And my favorite levels of these games are the dash levels and the Omni Robot levels, the boss fights. And this game actually did get very difficult towards the final stretch of the game, which felt unfair at times. But overall, I really enjoyed The Incredibles. I highly recommend you check this out if you can on GameCube, PlayStation 2, and Xbox. I think this game is very underrated, and I do play this game from time to time. So that was The Incredibles. The SpongeBob SquarePants movie game. So this is more of akin to Battle for Bikini Bottom. The same gameplay style, same mechanics and everything, but the mission structure in this game is more mission select style than Battle for Bikini Bottom. Battle for Bikini Bottom was a little more open, but this game follows the movie. And the difference between Battle for Bikini Bottom and this game is that you have the Krabby Patty mobile levels. And overall, this game is really fun. I actually like it more than Battle for Bikini Bottom. I don't know if that's a popular opinion or not, but I really like the slip and slide levels the most. And overall, I think this game was a very good game, even though this game was developed in a very short time. So yeah, that was SpongeBob SquarePants the movie. Next up we have Bratz Rock Angels. So I have a lot of nostalgia for this game. So my parents bought this game initially for my sisters so they can play the GameCube as well. But they were having a little bit of issues progressing through the game, so they asked me to play through the game and they just watched. And I actually really enjoyed this game. I love the music and all that. And this game is basically you just dress up the Bratz and you do like fashion shows and stuff. And it's not the most deep game in the world, but it is a game I enjoyed. And I have no problem admitting that. And I wanted to have a copy of it on GameCube. It's still sealed. But yeah, that's Bratz Rock Angels. Last but not least, Bratz Forever Diamonds. So this is a sequel to Rock Angels where it takes place in the same locations and stuff, and the gameplay is practically the same. And I didn't know this game existed, so when I found out about it, I bought it alongside Rock Angels. So I do plan on playing this game at some point, and I'm hoping I like it as much as Rock Angels. And I know I'm not the target audience for these games, but there is some enjoyment in these games for me. So yeah, that's what it is, you know. So we got the inside here, and this does come with the outfit for a Bratz doll if you care about that. But yeah, that's Bratz Forever Diamonds. So that was my entire GameCube collection. I wanted to ask you guys, do you have a GameCube, and did you grow up with one like I did? And if you did, what games did you have for it, and which games are your favorite? Anyways guys, thank you.